Okay, let's talk about that feeling. Payday hits. You see that number pop up in your bank account, and for a second, you feel pretty good. But then, almost instantly, it's like it evaporates.
Rent, bills, taxes, that weird subscription you forgot about, and suddenly you're left staring at a number that is way, way smaller than what you started with. It's this incredibly frustrating feeling, right? And the worst part is, you're not always sure exactly how it happened. And you know what? That quiet confusion is costing us a lot.
So how much is it costing us? Well, I want you to really look at this number, $948. That right there is the average amount of money Americans lose every single year. Not because of bad investments or terrible luck, nope. It's purely from not understanding a system that, let's be honest, no one ever really explains to us. So today, we're going to fix that. And to do it, we're going to follow the journey of someone we'll call Alex, who's probably feeling just as lost as you might be.
So this is Alex, 26 years old, has a pretty decent job, and is just trying to figure out, well, all of it. Alex's questions are going to be our guide through this whole thing, because they're probably your questions too.
First things first, we need to understand the big, invisible forces that are always pushing and pulling on your money. Think of it like a game that you're forced to play, but you are never given the rule book. Let's change that.
You've definitely felt this number, even if you don't recognize it. That was the peak of inflation back in June of 2022. It's why your grocery bills suddenly felt insane. But here's the really important thing people miss. When you hear on the news that inflation is cooling, that doesn't mean prices are going down. It just means they aren't going up as ridiculously fast anymore. It's like a car that was going 90 miles per hour finally slowed down to 30. Hey, that's better, but it's still moving forward.
So, back to Alex. Alex just got some bad news. Rejected for an apartment they really wanted. The culprit? A mysterious three-digit number, 638, a credit score. This thing follows you everywhere. But what is it actually made of? Well, it's not random. It's a formula. And as you can see, two things matter more than anything else: paying your bills on time and how much debt you're carrying. Together, they make up a whopping 65% of your score.
And why should you care? Because that little number has massive real-world consequences. We are talking about over $60,000 in extra payments for the exact same house. That's insane. Oh, and by the way, that myth that checking your own credit score hurts it? Totally false. You know what's really expensive? Not knowing your score.
Okay, let's tackle another big one. Alex got offered a raise. Awesome, right? But then the fear sets in. Oh no, will this push me into a higher tax bracket and I'll actually take home less money? We've all heard this, and it's just not how it works. Our tax system is progressive. Think of it like filling buckets. Your first chunk of income fills the 10% bucket. Once that's full, the next chunk starts filling the 12% bucket, and so on. A raise only means the new money, the stuff at the very top, gets taxed at that higher rate. You will never, ever take home less money by earning more.
All right, so we've been on the defense, right? Learning all the rules that seem to be working against us. Now, it's time to flip the script. Let's figure out how to use these rules to our advantage and start playing some offense.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets to the heart of what the stock market really is. We think it's all spreadsheets and logic, but it's not. It's driven by human emotion, by what millions of investors think and feel a company will be worth in the future. That's why trying to perfectly time the market is basically impossible. You'd have to predict the collective mood of the entire planet. Good luck with that. Now, if there is one force, one piece of actual magic that you need to get on your side, it's this: compound interest. Simply put, it's your money making money. And then that new money starts making its own money. It's like a tiny snowball at the top of a very long hill. At first, you barely notice it, but over time, it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth.
So what does that snowball effect actually look like in real life? Let's do a quick comparison. We have two people. Both invest the exact same amount, $250 a month. The only difference? One of them starts at age 25, and the other waits just 1 decade and starts at 35.
So our investor who started at 25, by the time they hit retirement at age 65, that small monthly investment has snowballed into almost $900,000. Pretty incredible.
Now, what about the person who waited until 35? Well, they ended up with less than half of that, $375,000, same amount of money invested each month.
I mean, just look at that, $500,000 difference. And that extra 500 grand didn't come from being a genius investor. It didn't come from some lucky stock pick. It came from one single thing: time. Those 10 extra years were the most valuable ingredient.
So all this theory is great, but let's get down to brass tacks. how do you actually put this stuff into practice? Let's open up the Personal Finance Toolkit and look at the tools you can start using right now.
This number is just wild to me. Almost half of all workers who have access to a 401k retirement plan at work just don't use it. If your company offers an employer match, that is literally free money. They are paying you extra just to save for your own future. Turning that down is like refusing a raise. It is the single biggest no-brainer in all of finance.
Okay, this is a super important distinction. Saving and investing are not the same thing. Think of saving as a safe parking spot for your money. It's what you need for emergencies and short-term goals. But investing, that's the vehicle for long-term growth. Just look at the difference. 10 grand sitting in a savings account for 20 years barely grows. That same 10 grand invested, it has the potential to become a life-changing amount of money.
We're all taught that debt is this evil monster, but that's not exactly true. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt is when you borrow money to buy something that can grow in value or increase your income, like a mortgage on a house or a loan for a business. Bad debt is a trap. It's borrowing money at insane interest rates for things that lose value the second you buy them. A 24% interest credit card is compound interest working in reverse, and it will bury you.
And here's proof that you don't need to be a Wall Street wizard to succeed. The legendary investor Warren Buffett made a famous bet. He argued that a simple, cheap, boring index fund that just tracks the 500 biggest U.S. companies would beat a hand-picked group of expensive, complicated hedge funds over 10 years. And what happened? He didn't just win, he absolutely crushed them. The lesson is powerful. Simple and low cost almost always beats complex and expensive.
Okay, so let's check back in with Alex. After learning all these rules, what actually happens when you go from a state of total confusion to a state of control?
Look at this. There's nothing dramatic here. No winning lottery tickets, no genius stock picks. Alex just started. They finally checked their credit score. They enrolled in their 401k to get that free money. They started investing a little bit each month. They even did the scary thing and calculated their net worth. These aren't giant leaps. They're small, achievable steps. And that's how real progress starts.
And so I'll leave you with this final thought. If you've ever felt that all of this money stuff is intentionally confusing, you're not crazy. You're right. For a big part of the financial industry, your confusion is the business model. Complexity is profitable. But understanding these basics, it isn't just about saving that $948 a year. It's the ultimate form of self-defense. It's how you take back control of your own future.